All right, let's just jump right into it. We're looking at what might honestly be one of the most incredible, historically significant weeks we've ever seen in the tech world. We're talking May 4th to the 8th, 2026. Picture this. You've got a federal courthouse in Oakland literally rewriting the history of modern artificial intelligence, while at the exact same time the industry itself is just relentlessly pushing forward. Welcome to today's Explainer.
We're basically looking at a massive split-screen reality right now. On one side, you've got billionaires sitting in a courtroom, battling it out over old text messages, personal grudges, and the actual origins of OpenAI. But then, on the other side, we're seeing this aggressive, real-time restructuring of a $2 trillion infrastructure economy. Massive deals are being closed outside that courtroom that are actively shifting the entire balance of global computing power.
And this perfectly captures the whole theme of our explainer today. Just look at this quote from tech writer Aaron Rose. This was the week a federal courthouse started rewriting the history of modern AI, and the industry kept moving anyway. It is this relentless juxtaposition. You've got this backward-looking legal drama dissecting how we even got here, right alongside these forward-looking multi-billion-dollar marketplace that are deciding where we're going next. So let's break down exactly how this unprecedented week unfolded. Starting with Section 1, the Oakland trial begins, and we finally start unpacking the origins of OpenAI.
So Greg Brockman takes the stand, and right out of the gate, his testimony exposes some massive early contradictions. Brockman's own past journal entry literally referred to OpenAI's early nonprofit commitment as a lie. And the plaintiff's attorney? They just hammered on this stunning financial reality. Think about it. Brockman currently holds a stake in OpenAI worth nearly $30 billion, but his personal financial investment was exactly $0. Musk's attorney pointedly asked him, how a $30 billion stake gets you out of bed, but a $1 billion stake wouldn't. The tension in that courtroom was absolutely wild.
But Brockman didn't just take it. He went right on the offense. He detailed Elon Musk's staggering early demand, $80 billion, and absolute full control over OpenAI. Control that Musk allegedly said he would decide when to relinquish. Brockman actually dubbed this the Mars motivator, because according to him, Musk needed majority authority over OpenAI specifically to fund his eventual city on Mars. He even claimed Musk had OpenAI employees secretly working on Tesla's self-driving tech while he was sitting on the board. Just mind-blown stuff.
And it all culminated in this absurdly dramatic moment. It's actually fascinating how a multi-billion-dollar partnership fractured over something so physical. Back in an August 2017 meeting, Ilya Sutskever gifted Musk a painted portrait of a Tesla. Well, Musk reportedly grew furious over the equity discussions, flat out said, "I decline," grabbed the painting, and just stormed right out of the room. As Aaron Rose noted, it's exactly the kind of vivid detail a jury is going to remember when they deliberate.
Now, let's shift to Section 2, billions moving outside the court, and the rapid institutionalization of AI. Because on the exact same day Brockman was testifying, the big numbers started dropping. $10 billion. Bloomberg reported that OpenAI was building something called the Deployment Company, with a massive $10 billion war chest backed by 19 investors. And this happened literally hours after Anthropic launched its own enterprise joint venture with Blackstone and Goldman Sachs, valued at $1.5 billion. It's this massive copycat pattern that is fully institutionalizing the entire sector. Both of these rival companies are now aggressively chasing the exact same business model, forward-deployed engineering. So rather than just selling you a software subscription, they're actually deploying their own AI engineers directly into enterprise clients, like huge Wall Street firms, to build highly customized infrastructure. Anthropic even released 10 pre-built AI agent templates for highly complex tasks like financial modeling and know your customer compliance screening. It's a total game changer.
And if you're wondering why they're suddenly chasing this model so hard, just look at Palantir. They just posted the strongest quarter in their company's history using this exact, mature, forward-deployed engineering model. We're talking $1.63 billion in revenue, that's up 85% year over year, and net income that literally quadrupled to $870 million. That breaks down to $1.5 million in revenue per employee. That is the ultimate scorecard OpenAI and Anthropic are desperately trying to replicate right now. Which brings us to Section 3, the candidness gap exposed through crucial third-party testimony. So Wednesday rolls around and it brings us the trial's most pivotal and, frankly, most neutral testimony from former executive Mira Murati. Keep in mind, Murati has zero financial stake in Musk winning. Her testimony actually led legal analysts to coin a brand new term, the candidness gap. Basically, this is the documented discrepancy between what an executive actually does and what they report internally. Marathi testified under oath that Sam Altman explicitly misled her about safety clearances on an unreleased model.
She went as far as describing Altman as creating chaos, saying one thing to one person and the exact opposite to another. So why does this matter? Well, it completely changes the historical narrative. Remember that infamous November 2023 firing of Altman that everyone dismissed as a botched, chaotic coup by an erratic board? Well, with this documented testimony, it now looks a lot more like a governance body that had been carefully building a documented case of executive deception for months.
Moving on to Section 4, exascale diplomacy takes over, where rivalries dissolve for compute power.
Analysts are calling this new phenomenon exascale diplomacy. It's what happens when cold hard business logic and the desperate need for physical infrastructure completely override bitter personal rivalries. In just a perfect twist of irony, Anthropic announced an agreement with SpaceX to use the massive Colossus 1 supercomputer in Memphis. Now remember, just a few months prior, Elon Musk was publicly mocking Anthropic as misanthropic. But at the end of the day, business needs just completely trumped past personal insults.
And why did they do it? Because of this staggering number right here. 220,000 GPUs. That is the massive compute capacity Anthropic is going to access through SpaceX's 300-megawatt facility. It immediately doubled Claude's rate limits. And how did Elon Musk respond? He posted that no one set off my evil detector and confirmed he's actually dissolving and rebranding his own AI company into SpaceX AI. And he did this at the exact moment SpaceX desperately needs a marquee, paying AI customer to anchor its upcoming IPO. That is X-scale diplomacy in action.
All right, Section 5, the Sutskever dossier and Thursday's pattern of executive dysfunction. Back in Oakland, 3 independent witnesses took the stand in sequence, and wow. They all painted a deeply concerning picture of OpenAI's internal safeguards. You had a safety researcher testifying that the AGI readiness team was completely disbanded, a legal expert noting that Microsoft tested a version of GPT-4 without even going through OpenAI's internal safety review, and a former board member testifying that the board was kept totally in the dark prior to the public launch of ChatGPT. But the biggest bombshell, they revealed the existence of dozens of pages documenting executive dysfunction compiled by Ilya Sutskever, what everyone is now calling the Sutskever dossier. Meanwhile, stepping back outside the court, the massive money just kept moving through a strategy called vertical extraction. This is where a single corporate entity simultaneously owns the chips, the cloud infrastructure, and the massive AI investor stakes. Case in point, Anthropic just committed a staggering $200 billion to Google Cloud over 5 years. This single deal represents more than 40% of Google Cloud's total revenue backlog. Through this incredibly aggressive vertical architecture, Alphabet's market cap surged to $4.8 trillion, closing the gap with NVIDIA. It's just staggering.
Finally, Section 6, the productivity AI race and Friday's massive market shifts. So on Friday, Claude officially entered Microsoft 365 as an add-in for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. Now, Microsoft's own Copilot is undeniably a capable product. It's got 18 months of deep enterprise momentum and 20 million paid seats. But Claude stepped in and directly challenged that dominance by introducing a total killer feature: seamless cross-app context continuity. This means a user can maintain one continuous session across 4 different applications with absolutely no reprompting and no copying and pasting. Suddenly, the knowledge worker AI race has a fiercely competitive second horse in the running. And let me tell you, the market reacted to this disruption instantly. Just look at the hedge fund movements on Friday. The TCI fund, led by Sir Christopher Hone, who, by the way, has been a massive Microsoft bull for 9 solid years, slashed its Microsoft position from 10% of its portfolio down to just 1%. They liquidated nearly $8 billion in stock, specifically citing AI disruption to the Office franchise. Simultaneously, they bought heavily into Alphabet, making it their largest tech position. And major funds like Duquesne and Tiger Global completely echoed this exact strategy. The product announcement and these massive hedge fund exits arrived at the exact same moment. Coincidence? Probably not. So, to sum all of this up, let's look at the actual legacy of this single extraordinary week: the circular infrastructure economy, where compute, cloud, and capital are all tied together, is now a definitive reality. Forward deployed engineering is the undeniable enterprise consensus. The AI productivity race inside your Office software?
fiercely competitive. And perhaps most importantly, this trial has permanently etched OpenAI's internal conflicts, the Sutskever dossier, and the Candidates gap directly into the public record. Regardless of the jury's final verdict, this documentary record is going to guide due diligence teams and IPO investors for decades to come.
As we wrap up this explainer and watch these two entirely separate realities, the courtroom and the cloud collide, we have to ask ourselves one final critical question. While the lawyers are meticulously dissecting the past, which of these tech giants restructuring the market today will truly own the $2 trillion future? Thank you so much for joining us, and keep learning.